So for all the talk about getting foreign money out of U.S. politics, many Democrats are ironically silent about the bribery scheme allegedly involving both Hunter and Joe Biden, in which they were both possibly paid up to $5 million. As we were just talking about with Hans, on Monday afternoon, Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley broke news of 17 audio recordings between the Bidens and a confidential human informant pertaining to the arrangement. Apparently, this FBI source created these recordings as an insurance policy. And while this is a huge development, what's even more interesting is the fact that Burisma founder Mykola Zlochevsky is believed to be an asset of Russia's foreign intelligence service by the U.S. intelligence community. An unidentified national security source who spoke to Red State anonymously said intel agencies confidently believe Zlochevsky is the Russian-owned SVR. This idea is not new, and the same official says then President Barack Obama was briefed on the situation, as was then Vice President Joe Biden and Victoria Nuland, who once held the rank of career ambassador in the U.S. State Department. Keep in mind, Zlochevsky is a powerful Ukrainian oligarch who gave Hunter Biden a lucrative consulting job and a seat on the board of Burisma back in 2014, not too long after authorities in the United Kingdom seized his assets because he was under investigation for corruption. Hunter doesn't have any experience in the energy industry, doesn't speak the languages in the area, but he brought political influence to the table, and Burisma used this fact to evade domestic prosecution at a time when the company was trying to enter the U.S. market. Zlochevsky has also been accused of channeling government contracts to his private companies between the years 2010 and 2012, when he was the nation's Minister of Ecology. So there's a pattern of likely corruption here. In exchange for the bribes from this foreign national, who's most likely Zlochevsky, according to several lawmakers, Joe Biden withheld $1 billion of congressionally approved loan guarantees until Ukrainian prosecutor Viktor Shokin lost his position. As a result, Burisma was able to resume business as usual. Joining us now to discuss is author and columnist Lee Smith. Lee, thanks for being here tonight.
Hi, Kara. Thanks for inviting me on. I appreciate it.
Great. So now Burisma founder Mykola Zlochevsky is believed to be an asset of Russia's foreign intelligence service. What do you make of this development?
Well, I'm afraid I don't believe that story. I think I took a look at it, and the idea that Obama and Biden were briefed on this. I mean, it's designed to clear Biden, right? Because the point of the story is going to be like, oh, no, this isn't what really happened. What Charles Grassley is holding is actually Russian disinformation. It's not true. Tragically, the right has shown a real problem with this over the last several years. We saw this many years ago. Once we started to have indications, once there were people on the right who started to say, oh, actually, it's Russian disinformation. It was never Russian disinformation. What it was Clinton it was Clinton campaign disinformation. The Russians did not put disinformation into the dossier, and the Russians have nothing to do with what's going on with Zlochevsky and Burisma. Zlochevsky was a minister of the Ukrainian government that was somewhat close to Russia. This is when Yanukovych was the president of Ukraine. So he had decent relations. He had good relations with Putin. And then, of course, when he had to flee Kiev in the wake of the 2014 coup engineered by the Obama administration, and certainly Joe Biden was one of the point men on that, he went to Moscow. But just because of their relations, remember, Ukraine sits on the border of Moscow. That's why it pays to have good relations with a much more powerful and nuclear-armed nation. And unfortunately, the Biden administration, among many others, has put Ukraine in a very terrible situation. Anyway, to get back to the basic point is Charles Grassley is not Adam Schiff. When Charles Grassley comes out and says there is information here about a confidential informant who's talked to the FBI, and I've seen the declassified stuff, even though this document was not ever classified. He said, I've seen it unredacted, and here's what it says, and here's who's involved. And he says there are 17 tapes. I take that very seriously. I think we should all take it seriously, and I think we should applaud Charles Grassley for pushing the issue. God willing, other GOP lawmakers, senators, and House members will also get behind this push so that the American people, as Senator Grassley says, can get to see this document. That's the fundamental play here. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, according to these allegations, took $5 million bribes apiece.